Salute. How y'all doing? My name is Derrick Williams. Shout out and respect due to my newest subscribers, Anarchy Television, and last but certainly not least, I had a chance to talk with her live on her StreamYards, Shar Glow Up. I want to give an extra special shout out to Glasses Kingdom. I will be putting his link in the description box below, and we talked about hip hop. The title of this presentation will be called A Hip Hop Purist, and I'm just one man. In the comments section on YouTube, I had the distinct honor of being on Glasses Kingdom's reaction StreamYard last night, and we spoke about a young rapper from the Philippines, and I gave my take on hip hop, but I will put in this small caveat. I got the year in which hip hop was born incorrect. It was actually August the 11th of 1973. I erroneously said 1974. It happens, but everything else that I said regarding hip hop, in my view, I believe was spot on. You judge. All y'all take care. Greenville, Mississippi till I die.
No, before we go into dissecting the song into parts, I know it's hard sometimes for us to talk about certain songs when we don't know what exactly the person is saying, because music is not just about the musical background in terms of the track and the elements that makes up the music, but also the words of the song is important to music. So before I ask you the questions or get your thought on the song, and before we dissect the song in parts and have different opinions and ideas about it, what is your take on rap music? Like, how do you feel about rap music? I know you were born in the era where most of the stars were born. What is your take on rap? Hold on. Can you unmute your mic, please? All right,
Okay.
there you go. Go again.
Okay. Yeah. Let me say, we need to go back to the history. August 11th of 1974, hip hop was born. And I work with a lot of people from the islands, and there's a phrase that goes something like this: nothing good come from a trench town. Well, actually, that's not true, because the godfather of hip hop, Clive Campbell, also known as DJ Kool Herc, hails from Trenchtown, Jamaica. So had it not been for Kool Herc, there would be no hip hop. 1532 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. I went there 2 years ago. I had to go see the Mecca for myself. That's where the first hip hop jam was ever played, August of 1974. So hip hop is almost 50 years old. But what I was going to say is that as the music has gotten more corporate, it's actually gotten away from the people. Hip hop, the hip hop that I'm used to, it entertains and informs. But because it has gotten so commercialized, now you don't. It's not dope or whack anymore. It's gangster rap, emo rap, and all these other genres. You either good or you not. And what has happened, especially since after the early '90s, it has gotten more violent. I saw Andrew Holness did the same the other day, and he was talking about how the reggae artists over in Jamaica have devolved, they've degraded. And I felt what he was saying, because it's the exact same thing that's going on here. When people think of rap music in this country now, it's looked down upon. When we was coming up in the 80s and 90s, it was a feel good. It actually educated. One of the reasons why I have all these books on my bookshelf is because of the rap that I used to listen to, and some of the stuff that they would say. It forced you to go look into stuff. But today, they actually get off on being ignorant. So I didn't want to be too long-winded. So when I really don't listen to a lot of the hip hop that's on the radio. You have to really go and find good hip hop today.
Okay, all right. That was incredible history, and of course, it is credible history. It's not just somebody decides to talk, but somebody who has done the research and also lived the experience of hip hop. So that's your take on hip hop. Now, I want, like, for me personally, as a musician, I've been playing music for over 20 years. I've been doing years professional music in the studio as as a recording artist, as a producer, as a guitar player, not a singer. Not a singer.
Yes, sir.
So I know this business, but to be honest, hip hop was never my favorite genre of music. You know, my favorite starts from jazz and blues, come down to reggae, rocksteady, so forth and so on. That's just my personal favorite.
Yeah.
But when I listened to this young chap rap last night, there's quite a few things I took from him. He seemed passionate about what he does. He seemed aggressive in his delivery to some parts where he was like probably a little bit emotional, and he was like spitting. And even though I did not understand what he was saying, it seemed interesting because of his conviction. You know, you know, when somebody knows what they're doing and believe in what they're doing, you know, that type of feeling kind of transcend to the audience, you know, so we kind of believe even if we didn't believe, you know. Based on their conviction, we start to believe what they believe and see what they see as well. So watching him was incredible. So what's your take on the art?
Well, I was just about to say, we are of like mind. One of the things a friend of mine said about maybe 10 or 15 years ago, if you look at some of the MCs that are around 50, I'm 53, but if you look at some of the MCs that are around my age, like KRS-One, Rakim, MC Light, who is gorgeous, Queen Latifah, all of them still look young. Hip-hop, in a funny way, keeps you young. And I say that for this reason. You mentioned their aggression and their passion. Once you love something, if you love something that you do, you're passionate about it. And you can see that this young man, he's up and coming, he's hungry. But the problem that I see with a lot of rappers as they move along, once they've tasted success, once they get handlers and yes men, they lose something. And so what you're seeing is an up and coming fireball. And it's beautiful when you can catch a rapper. And it's the same thing like usually with a lot of hip hop artists, first one or two albums that they drop, straight fire. Then after about the third, fourth album, they kind of fall off. They get more commercialized and stuff. And so what you're seeing the ascendance of this guy. Because when I was listening to him after about a minute in, I said, he hot to death.
All right, yeah. So with that said, I hear you mention that, you know, the whole hip hop used to be about the experience that people would have in their communities. You know, people sing about their, so it was that passion of what they've been through, the hardship, the struggles of the drains, the this, the that, the guns, and blah blah blah. People sing about it, but then when they become more popular and they get into mainstream, then they when it got more commercialized, as you said, you know, they start to get more violent, and you know, it's more about killing and shooting and cursing and all these things. Now, the good thing that when the Filipinos they translated the words of this song, and they said he did not use one curse word, he didn't use any derogatory statements, he was just punching some lines of what his experience was, and so that's what made the song beautiful. So now that I have an understanding, and I don't know what the song is saying exactly, but he sang the song in 3 different languages, which is English, and he was doing really well. His flow was really good, his presence was really good, and he seems like he's ready. He seems like somebody who has been practicing, and he's ready to take on the world. So let's do some. Yes.
Well, one other thing too, if I can interject, and I don't want to edify hip hop as if they never did talk about guns, objectifying women, drug use, and things like that. That has always been with the culture. But the thing is that was something that was pretty much on the fringe. It was typically you want to come in, you wanted to try to convey a message, get the party started, and if you can drop a jewel or you can drop some information in the song, all the more better. But that has since been turned on its head as big as hip hop then got. And it should be noted too a lot of the American artists, when they leave the shores of America and they go to Germany, for instance, or they go to the Philippines, they'll find that those people over there, they actually keep the element. They actually still break dance, do graffiti, and DJ over there. And you ask a lot of American black kids, they couldn't tell you the four elements of hip hop.